Alright, this is Andrew with Joda Home Inspections. Today is July 1st, 2025. And we're here at 4287 South, 2900 East. We have the camera pushed out 90 feet to the city connection. Now we're going to pull it back and record it and see what we find. So that's the city line that you're seeing on the screen there. And this first connection point is called the nose on. That's where you go from your lateral line into the main city line. Looks like a cement nose on, and then it transitions to clay. A little less than 100 feet, so fairly average length. So far, no standing water. That's one of the main things we're looking at, is whether it has proper grade. But so far, this looks good. I think this is transite pipe. This is cement asbestos. This house doesn't really have any good access points. I had to remove a toilet to access the line. Big old root there. I'd recommend having that hydrojetted out. That way a big piece of waste doesn't get stuck on it, or a bunch of smaller pieces of waste, which could build up and create a blockage where it backs up towards the house. And then this is cast iron. Cast iron will eventually need to be replaced. Looks like some more roots there. Pretty big ones. Yeah, pretty big. Already waste getting stuck on it. That would be a good spot to have cleaned. Really, you just want to clean the whole line and then have it evaluated again to make sure there's nothing hiding that would be visible once it's cleaned. A little bit of an offset here. There's also a big piece of rust, looks like, built up on the line. I would be curious how this section looks once it's been cleaned, but right now it looks pretty rough. And this area where it's cast iron is probably under the house. And so when it's time to replace that, that can mean opening up the basement slab, which can be difficult and costly. You could have it coated, where they clean it with a chain, and that would make it a lot smoother, prevent blockages. So that would be a good option. Again, pretty rough looking cast. I always recommend getting HomeServe insurance on the line. Here, where it looks the roughest, is under the house, which isn't covered by the typical HomeServe sewer protection, but they do have interior drain line protection, which doesn't cover nearly as much, but might be worth considering it. But it doesn't cover nearly the same amount. So just to recap, I would definitely recommend having the line cleaned now and then have it looked at again. And then also I'd recommend the insurance and just to be aware that you do have a lot of cast iron that's looking pretty rough. It would be important to have it cleaned and then looked at again, because you might find out once it's been thoroughly cleaned that it's not usable. I'm going to end this recording now.